CBF, are you fucking deaf?
There's a lot of things I can excuse. A bit of maverick violence, a bit of child murder, but this is a step too far, my guy. You got some explaining to do.
Would you believe this is the reason why we stopped recording for so long? Because we're arguing about Hero Academia OPs and why most of them are kinda shit.
It's not about My Hero Academia OPs, it's about your blatant, possibly allegedly racist, rejection of Porno Graffiti, Kenshi Yonezu, and Uberworld, and those three, those are the main ones.
Okay, I will say, no. I can agree with you on, like, I'll let you have the Kenshi one. I just generally don't like Kenshi. But the other two, those are just mid for them. That was a mid porno. That was a mid Uberworld. Those are not high for them at all.
What are you talking about?
You sound like one of those fucking people that say You Say Run is mid out of sheer spite for MHA.
No. I don't like it, but I'm not gonna go that far. But yeah, no, like...
Yeah, that would be blasphemy.
Melissa's way better. The GTO OP2 is way better for porno. For Uberworld, damn bro, their Gundam 00 stuff is better. Well, the first.
Wait, what? GTO porno is better?
So, yes, by a mile. A country mile.
I feel like we somehow went off track from the original topic very quickly.
Look, the point is CBF has shit taste in anime OPs. In shonen OPs.
I was about to say, if you said anime OPs, motherfucker, you dislike TK stuff. Which means you don't like Unravel. You don't like the first Psycho-Pass OP.
Okay, when was this? I did not hear about this.
I mildly like Unravel. Mildly, and I don't like the first Psycho-Pass OP.
Okay, both of y'all are on some type of shit.
You know what? This isn't about me. This is about CBF and how he hates Go by Flow.
I like Go. No. Go is good, but anyway, fuck. We're getting off track. Now we arrived in the cafe.
No, look, we are fighting dreamers. You're an asshole.
No, you're just wrong. Since we're back here, since we talked about My Hero Academia, but we're not going to be talking about that piece of shit. What do you guys want to do now?
I am Lone Crit.
And I'm Kaiser Shonen.
And this is the Newtypes podcast, where we shit on CBF's anime music taste.
Specifically shonen ones.
And Lone Crits, because he has really bad taste, too.
At least I have taste.
No, you don't.
And then we don't shit on mine, because I have the perfect taste.
That's because you haven't revealed your hot takes yet. Come on, Kaiser. Maybe when you guys talk about Tiger and Bunny, you'll let something out.
Yeah, you haven't revealed your power level. Yeah, but you're gonna say you don't like Unison Square Garden. Is that what you're gonna say?
Who the Whoa, wait a minute. Alright, I don't know who you heard about that, but somebody's lying to you, okay? There is no bigger fan of Unison Square Garden than I am. Okay, maybe not that much, but like still.
Yeah, you are the biggest Unison Square Garden fan. There is no bigger fan of Unison Square Garden, okay? You are the biggest.
What if I just replace all of my lines with freaking AI Trump? That'd be freaking hilarious.
Oh, that'd be so great. Yeah, why don't we replace all our lines with like the AI president, and then we can start doing tier lists.
Okay, I call Barack.
We don't need Mavericks to do tier list longer, but we're getting off track. I thought you guys were gonna talk about heroes, not Mavericks.
Funnily enough, isn't there somebody in My Hero Academia, Tiger and Bunny, called Maverick?
That's besides the point. The point is that speaking of things that are vaguely better than My Hero Academia, Tiger and Bunny, I'm really liking it so far.
Yeah, vaguely better. It's just vaguely
better.
That's the narrative we're going with.
Listen, we gotta draw in the people somehow. We just gave My Hero a bone with the openings.
No, we don't.
We just threw them the bone with My Hero's openings. Now here comes the backhand, you get what I mean?
For the record, I never watched this show, and I watched one episode of Hero Academia with my then girlfriend at the time, back when, you know, we were supposed to trade episodes of that with episodes of Eva, and we ended up watching 8 episodes of Eva and only 1 of Hero Academia. And she's the Hero Aka fan, so take that as you will.
Wow, doing an anime trade with CBF where you do his thing and he doesn't do your thing. I've never heard of that before.
I'll get back to double eventually.
I'll believe it when it happens. Count how many episodes you watched on your own and count how long it's taken you so far. That's right, 0 episodes over a year. Shut up.
Okay, Luncrit, you have no excuse. You've yet to finish turn A.
True, though.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of a trade.
That was an obligation. You made a commitment.
Same for Zeta.
Oh yeah, you haven't finished Zeta either.
How have you arrived at this conclusion?
Well, we got off topic after I was trying to talk about Tiger and Bunny.
We cannot call you a true Gundam fan otherwise, Lone Crit.
Fine, I guess I'm not a Gundam fan and I'm not a mecha fan. What now?
Okay, you can be a mecha fan, but anyway.
Well, lucky for you, Tiger and Bunny is a Sunrise product. So this is vaguely in theme.
Emphasis on product. Speaking of product, how do you feel about the product placement? You feel thirsty for some sweet, sweet Coca-Cola yet?
I thought it was Pepsi.
I'm pretty sure it was both.
I just know that the hot blue-haired girl does Pepsi.
Yeah, although I am very much inclined to play some Pac-Man. Yeah. Now, after watching this show and looking at that product placement, or maybe play some old Konami games, who knows. I am a Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
You know, maybe if we put Stain from My Hero Academia in this show, he might actually have a point.
Honestly, yeah, well, a little less. No, a lot less of a point.
He would have a point, but there is a Stain equivalent in this show, and for the entirety of the first arc of Season 2, all I could think is... He's called Lunatic, by the way. All I could think is, man, if only Lunatic were here. What would Lunatic do? I bet Lunatic would have some thoughts about this. Hey, isn't it kind of funny that Lunatic only shows up to fight heroes, but he's conveniently absent when villains that he's supposed to dislike even more on moral principle are, you know, around?
Oh yeah, it's even funnier because, okay, for context, Lunatic in disguise is like the director of the organization the main characters and the heroes are working for.
So he's Judge, Jury, and Executioner, just like Judge Dredd.
No, he's not the director. He's like the chief judge of the law or something in Sternbilt, the city that this takes place in.
Okay, gotcha. So he's sort of like a law person.
No, he's more than a law person. He's the top dog law person.
Quite literally.
And he's voiced by Grimoire Weiss from Nier Replicant, which I can never unhear in the dub.
Especially after I pointed out to him. I forget his name.
Yeah, every time I hear this guy, all I can hear is, why haven't you learned how to swim yet, Nia?
Teaching bitches how to swim.
I told you, it's the great Grimoire Weiss.
I mean Lunatic. I mean Dr. Tenma. I mean...
Also, it's Liam O'Brien.
When can we do a Nier Replicant episode, by the way?
Probably next time.
Yeah, I just want Kaiser to play Route C and D and E so we can finally do that.
But yeah, Tiger and Bunny, generally.
Anyway, I think we've done enough stalling about what Lunatic would do if he were here. What were your thoughts, Kaiser, on the first arc of Season 2, as I like to call it, the Mugan and Hugan arc?
What is this thing about? All I know is that there are heroes and that they do product placement. And that there's villains.
Tiger and Bunny is a show in which you have a world much like ours, except probably a little more multicultural, a little like Gundam, but not quite that far, where beings appeared like in a certain shonen hero show that must not be named.
So what you're saying is this almost became X-Men.
Where at some point in time, individuals with supernatural abilities called Next appeared, and they were very discriminated against, short of making an actual slur for them apparently, according to Kaiser.
That is taken completely out of context.
Yes, except here they act on the surface because some big brain decided that the best way to make Next more palatable to people is to make them profitable.
What the fuck? This is a hero reality TV show?
Just as America intended.
Oh my god, imagine if Pauly Shore was in this.
So some magic big brain was like, yo, we are going to put them in hero costumes and have them chase other Next and criminals and film them on TV for ratings and have them compete.
And the announcer is voiced by Cosmo from The Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes, Cosmo from The Fairly Odd Parents. Also the voice actress for Naruto and the dub is in this.
Yes. I mean, somewhere, definitely, yeah. But But yeah, and our main characters, Tiger and Barnaby, or Bunny for short.
Our main character is the only adult anime character you can think of that is a father, where being a father means something.
Yes, outside of learning to become a father, but who's actually a father.
I think Naruto's gonna be mildly annoyed about this one.
I think Boruto's going to be mildly annoyed about this one. He's a father with a child, you know, that originated as a sperm in his ballsack, and, you know, eventually ended up becoming, like, a living being that hasn't been, like, off somewhere for, like, 15 years, and then dips back into the picture. They've been there, they have a relationship, it's a strained one, but it exists.
But yeah, so I imagine in season 1 they do a whole bunch of hero-y things and some problems occur, and then now we're up in season 2 with those two guys you mentioned.
Yes. Among other things.
Yeah, so basically the story starts when you have our lead character, Kaburagi Kotetsu, who has a strained relationship with his daughter, who is past his prime and lagging behind in the hero ratings. So the hero organization TV network thing decides to try a new system, a new idea, called the buddy system, where they bring in a new hero that's the hot new cock on the block who has exactly the same power as him, but uses it better, called Barnaby Brooks, who's Mamurican.
Voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Yes, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Who comes in, thinks he's hot shit, and is all about vengeance. Like Batman.
But Batman's better and cooler, and his latest movie was goated.
You mean like Sasuke?
Yeah, like Sasuke. I meant Sasuke, yeah. And he cannot sanction the main character, Kaburagi Kotetsu's buffoonery. That and the fact that he's older. So he goes around about vengeance, being edgy and shit, and not sanctioning Kaburagi Kotetsu's buffoonery, even though they have the same character. But they have to work together, but they don't get along very well, and shenanigans ensues. And here's the thing, right? You don't have cops. Well, you do have cops, but mainly you have heroes. And these guys, they're not buddies, but they're kind of like buddies. So you may call them buddy heroes? I mean cops? I mean heroes? I mean pigs? I mean heroes?
So do they shoot children or not?
Whoa, what the fuck? No, but they do let children be heroes.
Do they shoot other children and minorities?
Not on screen.
Well, next are minorities, so technically...
Yeah.
You wanna spoil CBF to what happens in season 2, or should I?
Well, which thing?
Oh no!
Wanna tell CBF what a little Goyle does?
Okay, so at the tail end of the first half of season 2, there's this big battle that happens with less than half of the heroes,
Which is awesome.
which is great because the rest of them got frozen episodes prior. And these guys are not only insanely powerful already, but they literally got super steroids, which made them betterer and strongerer.
Yeah, they made them bigger, better, faster, stronger.
Oh no, we can't reference that artist anymore. We can't reference the Yitler. I'm just imagining that one, what was that one show again where they was like, hold on, it seems like this guy. Wait a minute. He hates Jews.
Oh. Oh my god.
It's from the same guy who said that he's not gonna eat a morsel of food until like Margaret Thatcher's dead, and immediately after learning she's been dead for weeks, he just starts colonizing a whole bunch of fucking like chicken wings, like a whole bucket of them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That sounds like a South Park joke.
It does sound like a South Park joke. Moving on.
The fight was insanely brutal. I mean, people got knocked around, one of their arms got broken. Shit is fucked, right?
So how would you rank it on the pantheon of My Hero Academia fights?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But the point is that during the tail end of the fight, where they finally, after just a small slither of a chance, they finally got the upper hand, slightly the upper hand. One of the new characters, who's like 12 years old and looks like a magical girl, because of course she does, shoots basically a water jet at them, and you know, one of the brothers got knocked down because he's already brutally hurt, which is okay, that's pretty standard. And then in the next shot, we see the other brother, I think Mugan, literally got blown into like one of the gates in near the buildings, one of those pointed gates things, and it's like almost straight through his back.
Just like Shinzo Abe. Done in by a thingamafucker.
So what you're saying is that 12-year-old little girl blew his back out.
This was the Newtypes podcast.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
But hey, better than what would be in the opposite direction. R. Kelly might actually enjoy that one.
Just flies into that spikes.
So yeah, like, you know, magical girl realizes the consequences of her actions. Tiger and Bunny does a Recreators reference, and it's awesome.
Recreators is based.
Yeah, so you keep telling me.
But yeah, even aside from stuff like that, the show is actually pretty good, especially after you get through a bit of the first hurdle, which is the first half of season 1, where they laid on a lot of the bickering between the two main characters.
Yeah, but then, to my extreme shock, that only lasted for the first arc, and then they're just buddies.
Which is good. They're actually friends. The bickering that they do is still way less strained, you know, it has way less of that petty energy to it, and it actually feels like two co-workers.
Like Ruby and Weiss, but I assume 72 times better.
Yes.
Like me on CBF. Oh, speaking of Weiss, Kaiser, you want to tell CBF what you told me yesterday about Weiss? About somebody in Tiger and Bunny being like Weiss, but bitter.
I don't think I told you that yesterday. I forgot which character I was talking about. No, it wasn't Weiss, but better. It was Yang, but better. Because Hugon, voiced by Jaeyon Bosch, his power is that any damage he takes, he can basically transfer that into kinetic energy, and even the lightest punch, he can multiply that by like several times in terms of power.
And then when the heroes realize this, they stop attacking him. So his conclusion is give his brother a gun and have him repeatedly shoot him.
What the?
Which is metal as fuck. He's sitting there getting shot, taking it in.
God damn.
Yes.
You know, Azrael from Blazblue can learn a thing or two about that, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it's funny how this power still allows him to basically, at least momentarily, nullify the damage that he takes so that he doesn't immediately die from, you know.
It depends on where he was shot.
He was shot in the head.
Oh, wow.
Also, can we just say I love these two, because, like, Jake in season 1 is hilarious, but believe in your own strength!
Believe in your own strength!
Believe in your own strength! Believe in your own strength!
Oh god, this really is a battle shonen.
No, like, it's really funny because they go to a museum where they have the shit that belongs to, like, the #1 villain in this world. And his catchphrase is, believe in your own strength. So, like, he's called Ardun, by the way. So when they're talking to one of the hero characters, they're like, you believe Ardun is cool, right? And then they start just yelling that while crossing their arms over their chests, repeatedly yelling it louder and louder. And it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah, think of that clip that Shia LaBeouf did where in that one rally, I think outside of an art museum, where he's like, they will not divide us, but like in the anime form. That's what this was.
I thought you were gonna say just do it, but that works too.
I really hope somebody has a bear trap for Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf.
Why do you want to hurt him so much, Lone Crit? Are you one of the 4chaners from that incident of We Will Not Divide Us?
Mugan and Hugon are really fun.
Yeah, so how do you feel about the fact that, like, Tiger and Bunny actually, like, they don't forgive Mugan and Hugon, but they're like, yeah, man, they were cool. And I'm like, I don't know about this one.
Whoa. Okay, that is not how they did that. They didn't pull a Naruto Obito situation. It was some level of empathy. They were more like, okay, you guys are beaten. You two need to stop that. You're probably gonna die in the next 2 minutes.
No, I mean, like, when they were talking about them in the hospital.
What? I don't think they talked about them like that.
Maybe I'm misremembering a bit, but yeah, that scene though, I really like that. I really like how it's just like, okay, you prove your point. You are stronger than any of us. You are the strongest opponents we've fought so far. Please stop now.
You're kids, we don't want you to die. We're supposed to be heroes. I mean cops, I mean heroes. Oh wait, no, not cops.
They're not kids though, aren't they? Like adults?
I thought you said they were kids around that time, or maybe we were talking about like the other two guys that got, other two brothers that were blown off.
We were talking about one of the heroes who's a child. But yeah, these two are semi-adults.
Oh, by the way, I just love the motivation they gave them. It reminds me of Overhaul in My Hero Academia, like his motivation, except they actually layer it a little bit more. Their father figure is manipulating them in order to do the thing that his organization wants him to do.
Voiced by Kirk Thornton.
Voiced by Kirk Thornton. But he doesn't want to do that. But then there's the added twist that they know what's going on. They intuit what's going on, they know that he's being forced to do that by the organization, and they play along anyway to try and make him proud and also get apparent status and freedom for him, so the organization doesn't treat him like a tool and hopefully things can be better for him. And then turns out that you get the additional twist that he knows that that's why they're doing what they're doing, and he does see them as his sons and wants to get into a situation where he can make a better future for them.
Oh damn, that's an incredibly compelling thing. I think you told me about this elsewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, the entire sequence is like pretty much, you know, they were poor kids, they had to eat on scraps, and they were next, but they couldn't reveal that, because then they might be killed. In fact, in their backstory, a guy straight up pulled a shotgun on them. Their father figure saved them and inducted them into the criminal organization Ouroboros, and then he raised them, and the organization wanted him to use them as tools to further their own agenda, but he saw them as his sons, and he didn't want to do that, and he's not like the actual evil bitch working right next to him, or like the character of Jake from season 1, who's just an unrepentant murderer. So he tells the kids, hey, you want to become the strongest and prove you're the strongest, right? And he just wants to like have that going for a little bit, so that they can gain a little more wiggle room. He like gains status from the stuff they do against the heroes of Stern build, but turns out they're like, you know, they're probably making the old man do this. Let's do this to make him proud and so that he can be safer and stuff. But right as they're saying this, turns out he's walking right outside the room and he hears them saying this and he looks like he's gonna cry.
Which is even more cruel given Ouroboros' goal, which is basically anti-next.
It's to start a race war.
Given how multicultural this trio right here is, that would be a very bad thing.
Everybody comes from a different culture. I think Barnaby's obviously American, Kotetsu's Japanese. I think Blue Rose is like, I'm not sure, I think she's like European of some sort. I think Ryan is American. Yeah, Thomas is like what?
He might be Russian.
I think he's like, yeah, Russian or like Northern European or something.
Fire Emblem's obviously black.
Yeah, I love how we're just doing ethnicities and then, oh, he's black.
That's what he is!
Someone also said Fire Emblem, like those games with the anime swordsmen and the RPGs.
But yeah, and Sky High is most definitely American.
Wait, did somebody say Sky High?
Sky High indeed. Thanks, and thanks again. I'm surprised they never got caught rope for that.
By the way, I just love how everybody gets a hero name that's picked by their sponsors, and Thomas's hero name is just he is Thomas.
Yeah, he's one of the new characters that showed up in Season 2, who is basically an analog to Barnaby back in Season 1 when he was all edgy and shit.
Oh yeah, I think Lundgren also told me this at some point, like, basically the main duo essentially get mirrors to them and what they used to be like, but now they're betterer than these new guys who used to be like how they were like.
Yeah, he's the newer, younger model.
It isn't like a complete 180 in terms of the changes that they impart on these two either. I think the other guy who's more closer to Kotetsu, Subaru, I think his name is.
AKA Mr. Black. By the way, when that got mentioned in the show for the first time, the first words out of my mouth were, Johnny, this is the life of Johnny, this is the life of Johnny, this is the life of a boy named Johnny Test.
Kill yourself.
And I really, really wish that Lone Crit was a robot gone Maverick at that moment, but, you know.
We all do. We all do.
I'm glad you agree that it's not murder when you do it to robots.
I mean, no, we have murderous intent. We have absolute murderous intent. But anyway, so the Tiger and Bunny, Season 2, good?
Very good. Arguably better than Season 1. It's a 7.
7. Like, in Season 1, I feel a lot of the bickering in the first half of the show got in the way of just, like, having, like, good character chemistry and some of the stories being told better. At least that's what I remember thinking. And now they're just friends. And in the second half of Season 2, A lot of the writing with the villain, especially in how his power works and how stuff's done, it goes like quite silly. He has to eat some stupid pills, even though he's supposed to be pretty smart to make the plot flow, and that drags it down too. But in season 2, you've got the best villain so far, the most interesting villain so far, the ones with the most compelling motivation. You've got quite possibly the best fight. The writing is at some of the strongest, and you basically get all the strengths and none of the weaknesses. And all you lack is like some of the peaks of season 1, like Kaburagi fixing his relationship with his daughter, but instead you get new highs. Also, that bit, CBF, how much do you care about spoilers? Because like that bit with like Mugen and Hugan and their father figure at the end, just really the cherry on the cake.
I think we'll just probably leave it at that.
Yeah, but the point is, I definitely recommend Tiger and Bunny. I'm halfway into season 2 right now, and it is very good. In some ways, it kind of, sort of, especially in this season I've noticed, has a bit more of like a 90s Saturday morning cartoon vibe a bit in regards to characters who are working together now, sort of learning lessons from each other. You know what I'm talking about, the whole thing where it's all like, oh, at first I was thinking this way and not being a good friend, but now I have to be the bestest friend I have to be in order to become a better hero and a better friend. Did I mention we're friends? Okay, I'm not gonna be that excessive, but you know.
They literally talk like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that does kind of hurt, but I'll take your word for it, though.
No, it's actually good in context. It's good in context, we swear to God, we swear to God.
It's good in context. Please watch it. This deserves more love.
Yeah, please do it. Do it. Like, this show's really popular in Japan, but goes so under the radar in the West.
Much like World Trigger.
Yeah, much like World Trigger, and I'm like, imagine watching My Hero Academia instead. Shake my head.
Yeah, well, they're probably not doing so nowadays.
Also, okay, Kaiser, before we move on, the Mugen and Hugan fight, where would you put that on the anime My Hero Academia fights?
Where every fight tells a story?
A human story?
Joke's on both of you, I'm not human, so I get to make this choice.
Same, I'm not human either right now. I'm still a Haro.
Somebody once called me the devil, does that count?
No, because you're still organic.
Anyways, where I put it on the scale, I definitely put it, like, above most of the fights in the series.
Come on, like, anime fights only. That we have the Shigaraki and Nomu fight in season 1.
Better than that.
We have the Endeavor Nomu fight.
Better than that.
We have Stain.
Better than that.
We have Overhaul.
Better than that.
We have All for One versus All Might.
Well, not maybe, okay. It's probably better than that, but it's a high bar.
Okay. So, what fights in My Hero Academia, the anime, do you feel rival the gang versus Mugen and Hugan? If we include the aftermath as part of the fight. And the setup.
I mean, aside from the one that he just said, it's like a high difficulty choice?
Yeah, aside from that, I'd also probably put Endeavor and Hawks versus the high-end Nomu in Season 4 around that level. And maybe, no, it's better than the Todoroki fight. I like that fight, but it's better than that fight. So yeah, I guess that's
I
it.
feel like bits of the Overhaul fight are up there, but mainly because of Overhaul.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a huge weakness because it's just one way in terms of like which characters pull their weight the most.
I love all those moments, by the way, where it's like, I don't have a plan, but I actually do have a plan. Like when Barnaby's just like wailing on one of the brothers, like, Wah! And then he was actually big braining all along.
In any case, speaking of stuff like Ouroboros and something Azrael needs to learn from...
Yeah, I think it's time we pull this calamity trigger.
This gives us a chance to talk about Chronophantasma.
The game I played!
Yes, the game I saw you start playing like a year ago and then finish like 5 months ago because it was long and there were a lot of things you liked and really didn't like and other stuff got in the way.
At least I finished it. How are you doing with Kamen Rider Double, buddy?
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
I have a few questions first. This one applies to both of you. How do you guys feel about some of the new music changes? Because in the first one it was definitely a lot more like heavy metal and such, with like especially the remixes of the previous characters' themes and even a lot of the new character themes. We have a lot more neoclassical metal going on, considering that we're also working with Yuki for arranging, and he's the guitarist from Galnerius, a band I know Lone Crit really likes.
I really like them too.
Yay! 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 Destiny! Angel of Salvation!
Shut the
And
fuck
Hunter x
up.
Hunter.
That's just the vocalist. They also did an OP and a banger ED for Rin Daughters of Nemosine. But yeah, how do you feel about some of these new tracks?
So, you mean like the second variation Worms, like the second Condemnation Wings?
Yes. Or the second lust scene. I think my favorite in general is Gluttony Fang 2.
Good, I clapped!
That's gonna be very hard to edit.
There's so many great ones. I think a lot of them I prefer over their original variations. There are a few that are a bit weaker, but not by a whole lot. I tend to hear the opposite, so I'm glad we can agree that the new ones are at the very least around the level of the first ones.
I like Condemnation Wings too.
We get it, you like Tsubaki stuff.
Ironic considering I don't like Tsubaki.
Yeah, she's kind of whatever.
Also, I think I like the second version of Rachel's theme more. Jin's theme.
Too bad Jin sucks. This game moving forward, he kinda sucks.
What?
No, I'm like, yeah, I'm with CBF on this one. Like, maybe they should have just written him out. Like, I swear to God, it feels like he's just around to be like, brother, by the way, fuck you.
And Noelle, by the way, fuck you too!
But not literally, because you're kinda sorta my sister or something, I don't know.
Yeah, like, again, it's like what we were talking earlier with Tiger and Bonnie. Like, imagine after the first arc, when they buried the hatchet with Barnaby's whole thing with his vengeance on whoever killed his family. Imagine if, like...
They just kept that going.
Yeah, imagine if they kept that going and he just keeps being but I'm better than you, though. And it keeps being like a better than you dick. Can you imagine if that happened?
I hate that.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ, Jin was cool in games 1 and 2, but my god, give it a fucking rest already.
After his character development in this game, he kind of just sticks around being like, literally, physically butting heads with Ragnar, being like, I'm going to kill you, brother. And then after he beats him because Ragnar's kind of in a state where, thanks to a certain girl named Celica who comes in, she has the power of order as well, but in this case, it translates to Seether suppression. At this point, much of Ragnar is just Seether, so like half his body stops working. Even Jin can beat him at that point, and then Jin lords over him about that for the rest of the fucking game.
So what you're saying is that teenage girls are the root of all problems with this game.
I mean, Celica's not a teenager, but...
You know what? It just hit me! Now I know why I don't like Jin Kisaragi! Think about it! He pulls a Masamune Kadoya! I beat you once cause you were nerfed, therefore I'm better till the end of time!
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, I hate that. Like,
Fuck Masamune from Metal Masters, he sucks.
fuck that kid. I never liked him.
But we're gonna spend this episode talking about better shonen-like titles, so we're back to Blazblue. After the events of Continuum Shift, where Ragnar learns that, oh hey, thanks to the life link that Terumi has with Noelle, he can't exactly kill him, he can beat his ass, but he can't get revenge. And also now his sister's the god of death, so he's sent with Tao to go to Ikaraga, the Kushinada's linchpin, somehow. He does not know how yet.
I'ma stop you right there. I want to take a second to acknowledge how cool that name is, Kushinada's linchpin. The Chunin energy must flow.
And like we have this great scene where he's basically just visiting the church grave, like the destruction of his childhood, and talks to the grave of Celica. Kaiser, think like the start of Volume 3 of Ruby, but probably even better, but also slightly different context, because it's not a tribute to a great creator that died.
Because of course it is.
Wait, CBF, are you saying something is better than something in Ruby?
Stop the freaking presses.
Yeah, like, Kaiser, I'm sure, you know, you can tell us all about things that Ruby does not so well relative to other things, right? You know, it's not like you have a channel dedicated to it.
You don't get to make that joke, Lone
That
Crit.
is our Warlone crit. You haven't even seen the show.
You do that and we'll co-op Doctor Who references again.
At least I don't watch 8-hour-long videos about how Doctor Who's going to shit, even though I'm not a fan and have barely touched it.
Why do you throw as a jab at me? And I just want that as the thing in the background. I was playing freaking Sekiro because you kept pestering me about it.
Sekiro video and FromSoft game video coming soon.
Anyways, so yeah, the main antagonist Izanami shows up, and thanks to Phantom, cripples Ragna a bit with some magic and pulls the Saya card on him. So that pisses him off. A lot of things piss him off in this game, more than usual. He's kind of in a bit of a malaise, and a lot of things are triggering him a lot more, like New comes back and somehow he doesn't really even try to question her about anything and continuum shift with her, but still it's like she's back and Hazuma's pulling the strings with that again. He was going to just curb stomp fucking Tsubaki, who is now still relatively brainwashed by Izanami and on her side. And then as he's about to destroy the Izayoi, Hakumen's like, not you. It's gotta be Jin and friends.
Imagine writing Jin back into the plot.
But yeah, it comes to a point where Ragna threatens to kill just some asshole civilian for being like, hey asshole, you bumped into me, dick. And then Rachel gives him a verbal lashing even by her standards, and then he gets his ass kicked by Kagura. And then after Celica shows up, he gets his ass even more kicked because now he's crippled. So he winds up in jail and starts having the arc of, man, what am I doing? What am I fighting for? Just like Zero, what am I fighting for?
Man, Friday nights, am I right?
I know, right?
Yeah, I feel like this is the game where it's all like the fuck Ragna game.
For the first half, yes. This is what kickstarts his character development to just becoming a better person with more perspective and having a reason to fight outside of my revenge. And it leads to a lot of incredibly satisfying payoffs in the second half. First two games, Ragnar was immensely funny and like a fun asshole who was tragic. This, now he starts becoming betterer as a person, and it becomes super satisfying to see for this game moving on to the next. A bunch of other characters get better and some get way worse, like Jin is worse. A lot of the second stringers we don't really care about from the previous games also are whatever.
Yeah, there's only one problem. Chronophantasma extend too much. Way too much. Sector 7. So boring. A lot of the new characters, so boring. A lot of the plot threads just go on way longer than they need to be. Like, who still gives a shit about Jin, or Hakumen, or Arachne, or Lychee, or Carl?
Yeah, I still like Hakumen. Did they do anything with him in this game?
No.
Oh.
Not really until endgame.
Only one cool thing. Jin, I am you from the future. Oh shit, dog, what? Yeah.
Jin's the one to figure that out anyway.
Well, Jin figured it out. He figured it out, but yeah.
Like, through fighting him, he's like, I gotta confirm some things. They clash blades. I confirmed the thing. The only other cool thing that Hakumen does is at the end of the game. But yeah, it's like, the subplots with like Carl, he gets like 2 scenes and then dips until the end of game. Lychee, her stuff is kind of whatever, like, it's a little bit interesting when they talk about working with Relius on liquid Seether conversion, because that's some cool lore stuff. But otherwise, who cares about her stuff with Arachne?
Not surprised.
Especially because a lot of Sector 7 stuff kind of doesn't work when put up with the timeline of the main Chronophantasma story. Especially because a lot of it's like, oh, hey, Makoto, let's investigate Relius and Tsubaki. Hey, Makoto, let's walk around the city. Even though around this time in the main timeline, she's like, wait, what the fuck? Kagura, Kokonoe, why are you guys talking about brainwashed fucking Tsubaki? Why are you talking about the idea that if things go south, you may need to kill her and Noelle? No, I gotta tell Noelle, we gotta go out there, we gotta stop them. Oh wait, we get our asses kicked. Damn.
Yeah, it's like, it's so much. There's just like so much like fluff and stuff that could use streamlining.
Yeah, it's fun when it's the characters doing funny and such, but when it's just like, man, we need to think about the plot and such, it can wear thin after a while.
Honestly, a lot of the whole planning stage with what to do about Azrael and what to do about the Imperator also felt like it took way too long to me. I feel like I was just assaulted with scenes of people in rooms talking about planning, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't care.
To be fair, that's in the second half of the game.
So what you're saying is that we have a fighting game where the story is kinda messy. That's what I'm hearing right now.
And again, Jin is there. Jin is still fucking there. And he's still being like, brother, by the way, I'm gonna kill you, fuck you. And just Celica like, Jin, be nice, Jin. I'm like, yeah, so we get it, she's the second coming of the sister who raised Ragnar or something. Fine. But like, this is really, like, having this blast from the past moment is not worth it.
Okay, here's the real question I want to ask. Is Terumi still awesome?
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
Yes, he's still pretty fun. He's not top of his game like he is in the previous game where he's the main antagonist, but when he's around doing fun Terumi things, it's still fun, even though the main antagonist now is Izanami, who's also pretty fun. I know she's like a doomsday villain, but she puts the act on in a way that's fun. But yeah. At its peaks, it can be great, like with a lot of the Ragnar stuff in the second half, and much of the end game can be just like really fun and satisfying. But to get there, there's some dubious stuff in the first half. And even a little in the second.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, you used to not like her, you used to think she was pretty mid, but then when we started going through it together, I seem to remember, like, because I was like, from Continuum Shift Extend, I was always like, yo, she's awesome, I love her, this is awesome, and you were just like, eh. And then we were going more and more through Chronophantasma, and your opinion just rose and rose and rose, and you're like, okay, maybe Lone had something to teach me about Blazblue.
No, he realizes maybe I was the one who was mid.
No, maybe Jin's the one who became mid.
I mean, you know what? Like, it sounds like at least she's better than, like, most of the other characters in the game, it seems like. So, maybe you needed that.
I mean, I wouldn't... She's up there.
I wish we could just erase Jin's screen time. We could hand it, and we could hand it to Bullet.
Bullet's probably one of the highlights of the first half of the game. Just like, when Bullet's on screen, she's just generally pretty fun. Just like this mercenary whose entire team, minus maybe sort of the captain, who we obviously know is Tager. Like, let's be real. You see one CG and you with the captain, you know it's Tager. Let's be honest. But yeah, like, so all that stuff, so she's looking for information of what exactly happened on the mission that got her entire team killed while she was injured. And then it leads her to some fun scenarios, like the fish out of water one where she walks into a restaurant and she's like, I need provisions, where do I leave my weapons? And it just becomes an awkward thing with her. Or when she and Ragnar get into a little bit of a scuffle because Tao...
He nicknames her Butt Floss.
Yeah, but no, Ragnar calls her Butt Floss afterwards, but like Tao makes a fun, like a raunchy comment about calling her butt lady and just like some other things, and then she punches wrong. She's like, I am not naughty, and that leads to that misunderstanding before they fuck off. But yeah, and even some of the scenes with Bang, who I know you don't like Bang Shishigami.
Bang Shishigami?
Yes, Bang Shishigami can fuck off.
You can fuck off.
And even I agree. He's worse in the first half before getting a bit better in the second half. But like, his combo with Bullet was kind of nice with them just bonding over their backstories and like her connecting the dots to be like, huh, we're actually kind of similar. Thanks for taking the edge off. Like, we can work together for a bit.
We are quite alike, you and I.
You taste that, CBF? You taste that, CBF? Tastes like copium. No, like, Bang Shishigami is acceptable, you guys. He's, like, pretty lame for the first half, but he has, like, one cool scene in the second half. Copium.
Nah, he has several cool scenes in the second half. But again, it's more so that Bullet is good.
So Bullet is carrying. Okay.
Even though there's that one scene that we will never talk about again.
Also, I love the contrast between the first time we talked about Blazblue on this channel, and like, we were on the Jin hype train. You know, we were slobbing on them.
I realized the irony as well.
Especially you two. And then now me and Lone are just like, Jin, he fell off.
Bang! He got dropped at birth.
Hakumen, he fell off. New, she fell off. Oh, not as hard in this game. That's Central Fiction. She's just like, fine, good, but kind of not that well utilized. That's Central Fiction where she fucking sucks. We'll get there someday. Probably not in the podcast, I don't know.
Carl, he got also dropped at birth.
He was only kind of interesting in the first game, and that's because, like...
Until he opened his mouth.
Oh my god. In Carl's case, he got dropped at birth on purpose, because Relius is that much of an asshole.
Speaking of which, let's sort of like get to an endpoint with this by talking about some of the new characters. We already mentioned, like, yeah, Amane is kind of there, has a few moments that are fun, but I don't like any time he's like chasing after Carl for mysterious reasons that are played up as kind of, you know, pedophilic. Oh, by the way, he's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Because of course he did.
Asriel, extremely fun unga bunga motherfucker. I know he's largely only really there until like 2/3 into the game. He does his thing, he gets thrown out, but he's hella fun while he does it. And also that's where the whole like thing that he needs to learn comes in, because like there's a limiter put on him aside from his own personal strength limiter where it's just like, oh, if no one wants to fight you, you can't fight, like physically. And that pisses him off, and Kagura uses that to his advantage after Ragna's epic Ragna moments. Maybe he should have learned from Tiger and Bunny. But yeah, Celica, we already mentioned Celica. She's just really nice and fun, and not in a boring and annoying way for the most part. Bullet, yeah, we already mentioned Bullet's Ray. I think that's pretty much all the new cast. A bit mixed, but still pretty fun. Kagura is also just generally really fun, even if sometimes his lecherousness can be a bit much, but he's still just like incredibly hilarious and just like a fun new guy to bounce off Ragna. And Makoto and Kokanoe, who are all just peak here as well.
He does seem like a man of culture though. Oh yeah, is Kokanoe still good? I hope she's still good.
Yeah, she's even better in this game. I think Lone Crin and I can agree on this. She just has even more people to bounce off with, and more that she's thrown into and forced to do.
Alright, sweet.
Well, actually, you know, CBF, I don't know about this one. I think she fell off. I think Carl fell harder. I think Jin fell off. I think Ragnar fell off. I think everybody fell off. I think this entire game sucks, and it's a disappointment, and it disgraced the previous game.
Wait, what's happened?
Unstable wrong thing confirmed.
Oh, come on!
System logical inconsistency noted.
No. Here we
System
go
will
again.
now transfer to phase number 729. Forcing continuous phenomenon reset. Now. Reset sequence initiated. We'll reestablish system contact after reset.
Just like Ragnar, we thought we were done with.
One of the many possibilities of the continuum shift. Huh, that's weird. What was I saying?
We were saying, yeah, Chronophantasma, pretty good.
Oh yeah, bullet. He does not speak for us.
Well, she's more of an ass person, but yeah.
Listen, she is the full package from what I've seen.
But yeah. Oh man, we didn't even get to talk about the fucking gag reels. So many of them are utterly hilarious. Like the fucking, like the ass one, where like all three of them are Akumo units. And Bullet and Ragna. And even a decent showing from Platinum for once. Who's also thankfully barely in this game at all.
Oh, thank God.
But yeah, the game, it's like, some stuff is definitely way worse. Some stuff definitely gets even better and more satisfying. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but still pretty good if pretty long and kind of annoying.
Yeah, some stuff is pretty cool, but it's very bloated. It can oftentimes be extremely boring. It's definitely got some really nice high moments, one or two cool new characters, and it does continue some nice themes from the previous game, but it's a little more of a diamond in the rough than the previous one. Still neat, still cool, still fun a lot of times. My own taking way too much time to play definitely didn't help things, but just saying, I do think it could use like quite a bit of streamlining.
But yeah, still good. Good time. I'd say it's like a low 7 for the story.
A low 7? as much as y'all been talking about, I thought I was expecting like a low 6 to a 5 or something.
I would give it a 6.
But no, the great moments in that game, especially in the second half, are still just peak BlazBlue, and those peaks only get better in the next game.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Again, Ragnar's story carries all, and he's the main character, so yeah, we're good. And you know what? I'm really glad that we almost came here before, but we saw this one weird stand there while we were bickering, and it was the middle of the night, and we just decided, nah.
I think it was a trick of the light.
Imagine if we did, though. Imagine if we did go there, though.
CBF, I told you, I think you're seeing things. It must be just a trick of the light.
Hey, can we do a boba place next time? I guess not.
Anyway, see you next time on the Newtypes podcast.
Bye!
See you next time.